Hello, all of my hot fat guys, gals, and pals. I am Alex Frankel, and welcome to the Hot Fat Guy Club podcast. Today we have a super fucking exciting guest. We have Erik Cavanaugh, dancer and icon extraordinaire. Erik, we're so glad to have you today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, we're thrilled to have you, Erik. I have followed you on Instagram and TikTok probably since 20, and to say that you are an inspiration is quite an understatement, because not only are you an incredible fucking dancer, but you are truly a hot fat guy and pretty much like the dictionary definition of what we are looking for in terms of a positive male role model and someone who does a great job of creating community and breaks through barriers. Could you just give us a quick little intro about yourself before I read your...
Yeah, so I'm 30 years old. I'm originally from Pittsburgh. I've lived in way too many places. I lived in New York for a little bit, Nashville. I lived in LA for a hot second. I'm now back in Nashville. Don't know how long I'll be here. I would love to move to like Europe. But, yeah, so I'm 30 years old. I'm a dancer, model, actor, all the different hats that we can all throw on. I've been dancing professionally now for the past 7 years. Kids all over, adults everywhere. I do contemporary, I do jazz, I do heels work. So
awesome. So Erik, when I first discovered your page, I think it was a video of you doing, I don't know what it's called in dance terms, but it was a video of you doing a full standing split with your leg up next to your ear. And I was absolutely blown away because, at the time I was a do yoga every day person, and I thought I was flexible for a fat guy. And that was just mind blowing to see, the level of craft and skill. And now I was a person, I'm an opera singer. I became an opera singer because I was a shitty dancer. And not only could I not learn choreography, I just don't have the movement gene. So can you kind of just run us through your dance career? How old were you when you started, and how did you end up finding this, what seems to be really awesome sweet spot that you have found now in both your teaching work and your performing work?
So I started a little bit later. Oh, there's like two little, I guess, bumps there, I should say. I did start younger, but then I stopped for a long time and I restarted around the age of 16. I went to performing arts high school. I was doing musical theater, so I had movement around me, but it wasn't training in dance.
Mm-hmm.
By the end of my sophomore year, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to dance. Like, that's all I'm drawn to. So I switched over to the dance department, and that was about the age of 16. And I've just been training and taking classes ever since. And it's just been this like kind of journey of discovering my voice and what I want to do. Originally, I thought I was going to be a modern dancer and make that my focus in my life. So I thought I was going to move to New York, be a waiter, and then like dance on the side sometimes and just live for my art. And then I was scouted by America's Got Talent. So then I decided to go and do that show. And at that time I posted my audition rehearsal to Instagram, which I hardly used Instagram at the time. I was very late to joining.
Mm-hmm.
I think I made mine in like 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And I was 23 and that video started going viral. And I was like, oh, what is this? And it didn't it went very viral and I did get a lot of like media from it, but I didn't get too much of a following. It jumped to like maybe 6,000 or so.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, like this feels cool. And I kept getting messages and comments from people saying like, oh, like seeing you dance and seeing you go for it makes me want to do it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So then I was like, maybe I have a potential in the commercial side of dance. Maybe I can try and go after this. So then I decided to focus on building a following because I was on the opposite coast. I was living in Pittsburgh, and in my mind, Los Angeles is where commercial dance was.
Right.
So I wanted to build a following, build a name, build what I can, and build like a platform for myself to be able to leverage in the working world. So then I put focus onto that and I built my platform slowly and surely over time to what it is now. And it's opened up so many opportunities for me to work professionally and be in spaces that I honestly never thought I could be in because of the fatphobia that is surrounding dancers and our bodies and the limitations that we're always told, like, you'll never work professionally, you'll never be given the auditions, you won't even be looked at, you won't even be thought about. But yet I've been able to be in all the spaces that I was told I'd never be in.
Mm-hmm. Now, I have to ask. Speaking of the fat phobia in the dance world and just in the world, period, but especially in the performing arts world, did that have anything to do with why you stopped dancing when you were younger?
Yeah. So a teacher told my parents that I'd never make it. So, and essentially told my, and I, like, we're paying for this. Like, you have to pay for dance classes and, all these services. And then the teacher basically, in a way, said to my parents, like, he's not worth my time or the money that you're paying because he's never going to make it. Like, that's how that translates. Like, you can't just accept my parents' money and let me, spin around in a circle in the corner. Like, you
Right.
have to tell my parents, I don't think this is for him, so maybe you should hit the door. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why it was taken from me, because my parents didn't really know the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're, normal people that are not artists, so they don't understand what it is. So they're going to listen to the person who's in it and who's supposed to be a leader, who's supposed to be a
Mm-hmm.
teacher, who's supposed to be a professional.
Right.
And then as even any a normal person would know, like in the dance world, there's a certain look and a certain type. Whether you are in dance or you are not, you know what the look
Oh
they
yeah.
strive and push for.
Oh yeah. So, how old were you when that happened?
I don't really know. I would say between the ages of like 8 and 11.
Okay. And what can you tell us about what that felt like when it happened? Like what did your parents say to you? Were you there for that conversation with that dance teacher?
I can't really speak on it because my parents didn't tell me directly until years later, like in my
Wow.
20s, because they're protecting me and they're sheltering me. It was just more of, oh, like, not this year because it's expensive. Like, there was other excuses as to why it didn't work, or, oh, we're not going to do it because you're starting a new middle school, or, oh, we're going to not do it because of X, Y, and Z. So there was always like a different reasoning as to why it was never happening. So I just didn't quite know or understand. So I had to just kind of accept, oh, it's because it's just not on the cards right now.
Got it. And I mean, hindsight being 20, would you have preferred they just told you? Or this is just for my own curiosity. Like would you have preferred that they just told you that that was what had happened, or are you
No, I think it's good that they didn't, because
yeah.
I ended up going to a performing arts middle school and high school, and I feel, and at the time I was going to just a normal elementary school. All of my friends were going to the next normal neighborhood elementary school. I was moving to go to a different, well, not moving, but I was going to a different middle school that was specifically for the arts.
Mhm.
So if they would have told me, I probably would have just went with my friends to the normal middle school and made that my life. So I would be in a completely different place, because I probably would have given up on the potential because I was such a young
Mhm.
child. And, you take it everything to heart.
Oh
So if
yeah.
I was told, they said you're never going to make it, so that's why we're not putting you this anymore, then I would have probably just thrown my hands up and said, okay, well, I'll just go to this school then. I don't need
Yep.
to go to the magnet school.
Yeah, it's this is something that I talk about a lot, is like whenever the self-hating voice, that like other voice that tells us we're worthless, we're a piece of shit, we're this or that. It's like, whose voice is that really in your head? Is that you, or is that a part of you that has internalized all of the things that other people have said to you that are actually evil and horrible and have no basis in truth?
But I
And
mean, it comes from other people, because you look at the innocence of like children. They believe in the possibility of everything and anything. They don't know fear. They don't know hate. They don't know anything but the primal instincts and feelings that they have. And for the most part, it's just joy. It's just wonder.
mhm.
So at some point in your life, you start to learn doubt. You start to learn the sadness and depression, because it's put on you, it's told to you, it's taught to you.
Mhm.
So that, the imposter syndrome, the anxiety, those voices in your head comes from the voices around you that just
Yep.
create that monster on your shoulder.
Yep. Now, I guess to dive deeper into those voices, those monsters, and those people, when was the moment, like, were you always a fat kid? When was the moment that you kind of realized that you were different than everybody else?
Well, the thing is, I never acted like it, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that's why I've been able to like go as far as I am, because I never thought about, because I feel with a fat person or a fat kid, we sometimes put limitations on ourselves based on our body. Like, oh, well, I can only do, football because I look like this, or I'm only going to do this because I look like this, or I can only be the funny friend because that's what's portrayed in the movies. I
Mm-hmm.
never saw that for myself, and I never acted in that same way. And fortunately, I found dance studios later in my life that also taught and treated me that way, because sometimes dance teachers will only teach plus size people, or plus size kids, I should say, to be good enough for their body.
Right.
And I worked good enough for everybody in the room. I
Right.
worked at their level.
I love that comment because there is in my that moment happened for me of like I always knew I was different than everybody else because the way my body looked, but like I remember finally realizing that I was like fat when I was on a family vacation in the town where my whole family lives in the Northeast, and I remember like I was like 9 years old, and I walked past myself in a very reflective mirror, and that was like the first time I really comprehended the man boobs for the first time. And then it was funny, this like cause effect of like once I saw it, then as soon as I went back to school, then everyone started making fun of me for it. And it turned into this like boogeyman zeitgeist of like, well, now this is a problem. And it was interesting as a person who grew up doing theater and doing musical theater, being the fat kid didn't really affect you that much because you have to be so much more naturally charismatic when you are the fat kid.
Mm-hmm.
But also, your costumes are always a little bit shittier than everyone else's. You're never wearing anything that fits you particularly
If they
well.
give you a costume. At my school,
Yeah.
I always had to provide my costume.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, it got like I did the musicals, and we had a costume department. And every year it was like, well, do you have a suit you can bring? Do you have this you can bring?
Oh
Do you,
my
and like,
God.
it got to the point that my parents got so upset by, I think, my junior senior year. They contacted the school and said no other kid has to bring their stuff. You're not asking our kid anymore.
No.
Find it, make
Right.
it, stop making him do your job.
Right.
And like they did, and it was like very begrudgingly, like, oh, okay, but it's like, you're making me do this. Like, do you not see, like, in this entire ensemble of people, you're making me feel the worst of it because I have to provide it. And one year, and then maybe this is why that set them off, I did have to bring a suit in, and
Mm-hmm.
then they lost the suit. So then my suit was gone.
Are you fucking kidding me?
And that, because I think there was some type of water damage that happened somewhere, and so all this stuff happened. So then my suit was gone. So we give you a suit that my parents pay for, and now you're like, sorry, we had an accident. And
Oh,
then the next year they're like, well, can you do this? Because it wasn't just like, can you provide one of the outfits? It's like, for the entire show, can you provide 5 different outfits?
Jesus.
Well, we dress every other single person.
Yeah, that's
Oh, can we
absurd.
also make adjustment to your clothes? Can we sew on things? Can we do this? Can we do that to the stuff you purchased and you bought? Okay, great, because that's what it calls for the time period. Yeah. And I went to a performing arts high school that had a costume department.
Wow. That
But I'll also
is.
say nowadays it's not changed that much. Do you know how many times I go to a set and I have to bring my own clothes?
Oh, it happens to me all the time whenever I do acting or commercial gigs.
You have a wardrobe department with a budget and I have to. And the thing is, you can. I know you can because I've been on the sets that do provide me with everything. I understand if it's a lower budget and everyone's bringing stuff, which a lot of times that happens with dancers where we're supposed to just wardrobe ourselves.
Right.
But I'm sorry, if Rihanna can give every single person fitted pajamas for her giant shows, why can't you get me jeans and a t-shirt?
Right. Right. Well, that also comes down to valuing your artists too, but also it's such a common problem where this is something that I've noticed a lot in the modeling industry, and it's part of the reason why I started Hot Fat Guy Club is in the takeoff of the what's the why am I stumbling over my words of all times right now? In the takeoff of the more body diverse campaigns and work that started to happen, almost every single stylist, creative director, photographer, no, not necessarily photographer, but stylist and creative director that I've ever worked with, and the people who are managing the big and tall brands for most of these large companies are like teeny tiny little white girls that went to Pratt, Parsons, or FIT, who could walk into any H&M, Zara, or and insert fashion store here and take anything off the rack and have it fit them immediately, and don't have the lived experience of what it's like to live in a fat person's body, let alone a fat man's body, where we have fewer fashion options available to us than anyone else. Sorry?
I was saying, if we have any at this point. I went to a department store trying to find a winter coat.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like one winter coat, and I bought two of them because it was different colors. But I went through the entire big and tall section. I had to find them on a different rack, in a clearance rack in the far corner, because all this department store had for big and tall was graphic t-shirts and band tees. Like, I don't want a shirt that says, I don't like outside, people are there. I'm 30 years old, dude. Like, that's what you think we want to wear? Or, you know, I don't want to buy jean shorts that go down to my ankles that are bulky as hell. I'm not looking for capris. It's hot. I went on like a full Instagram rant about it, where I was trying to find shorts one year, and everything was like down to my ankle. I was like, I just want shorts. It's hot. I'm already a big dude. I already get hot so quick, and I can't even get shorts. But anyway, sorry, digressing.
No, I mean, listen, I can talk about that for hours, just the lack of fashion options. So in the opera world, especially when I was in my early 20s and was really, really deeply into auditioning constantly and doing everything, we have to do all of our auditions in suits, which is a whole other fucking conversation and super frustrating, because like when you go on an audition tour, you know, like I'm a big guy. I sweat when I think about doing something, right? I don't want to dry clean my shit 4 fucking times over a 2 week long audition tour. Number one. Number two, I have to buy custom made everything, essentially.
Or overpriced.
Exactly, because I had a friend in college who was a big tall stick, and he had all of these really cool fashionable suits that he got at like H&M that cost him like $100 each. Meanwhile, every single one of my suits was custom made and cost thousands of dollars that I had to save up for God knows how long, purely because there was nothing else that I could get that would fit me properly. And it would always have... Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish. Sorry. I didn't a story.
It would always have to be like separate, because at the time I was a 52 regular jacket. And when you buy a 52 regular jacket with a suit, the pants that come with it are a size like 48. Meanwhile, my waist was like a 40. So I would always have to buy everything separately and then do it and have it tailored, because otherwise the pants that would come with it would look so unbelievably fucking stupid, because of the butcher job that the tailor would have to do, that had nothing to do with the skill of the tailor, but had everything to do with the fact that the garment was literally not made for my size. And it's just like, why is this so fucking difficult? Why is this so hard and expensive? You were about to say.
I was just talking about people going to like H&M and buying cheap stuff or whatever. It reminded me of a story. I got asked to do a TV show as a dancer in Atlanta, and I lived in Nashville, and I was like, do I have to bring any wardrobe or anything? Because I don't live down here. And they said, no, it's okay. I get down there. It's about 4 hours away. And they say, do you have your suit with you? So I had to go to DXL and buy a suit and pants so I could do this job. And it cost me $4 for a suit jacket and a pair of pants, because I had a button-down t-shirt. And everyone else, like, it was fine because they could go to H&M or they could whatever, just throw on because it was a wedding or whatever. But it was like, it had to be a suit. And I was like, well, I asked for this before coming down. Also, you told me you're a costume department for a multi-million-dollar TV show, and you have not a thing for me. Zero.
Yeah.
And the only thing you get back, $25 per piece. For dry cleaning. Okay.
Yeah,
glad I spent $400 so you can give me $75 because I did your job.
Truly. No, it is genuinely insane. And that's something that I wish there was more. You know, we can always wish that there was more standard for all of these things, but I do wish that there were more fat costumers, right? And there were more fat wardrobe people, and there were more fat stylists. And that the people that actually have the lived experience of how demoralizing it is to walk into every single store. You know, for those that are listening that know what a mall is, yes, my back hurts too. But for everyone that doesn't, malls were places that were big, giant buildings that had lots of every single store you could ever imagine in it. They don't really exist anymore. And you know what? Good. But it is the most demoralizing feeling in the world. I remember going to Sun Valley Mall in Concord, California, and I'd always go in through the Copeland Sports, and then I would go to the J.C. Penney, nothing in my size. I would go to the Macy's, fucking nothing in my size. I would go to the Nordstrom, fucking nothing in my size. And then all of the other little stores, like Hot Topic would occasionally have things because I was an emo kid. And, Hot Topic, we would spend hours in Hot Topic. But it is the most demoralizing feeling in the world, especially if you're someone who likes fashion and wants to be able to dress and express yourself, and you want to spend your money on these things to look good, and everywhere you go it's like, nope, fuck you, we don't want your money. Nope, fuck you, we don't want your money. Ha, yeah, right, fuck you, we don't want your money. Like, come on. It's very frustrating.
And it's sad because years later it's still the same for plus size men fashion. I feel like I find myself shopping in like Torrid more often than other stores because they have extended sizes and it's interesting clothes and I can make an outfit out of it, because plus size men's fashion is still so dated. It's not really shifted from what it was. It's just t-shirts, it's graphic t-shirts, it's polos, it's button downs. Like we have things like Robert Graham that has come along and has like cool clothes with like cool patterns, but that's like one designer out of how many that provide. And it's like, I can't make an outfit, I can't make a look or something that looks interesting off of men's clothes alone.
Right.
And I don't mind playing with gender clothing, that doesn't matter to me, but it's like, it'd
Same.
be cool if I could have a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
And be able to say, oh, I like this and this is great. And I'm able to put something together that's nice.
Right. There's there are a host of issues that go along with that on its own, but the literal fact of the matter is 59% of men in the United States are considered fat. And the average male consumer, I've done so much research about this, has a 40-inch waist, wears an extra large t-shirt, weighs about 280 pounds, right? I'm pretty sure I'm right on that, and is 5'9". And it's very interesting coming from the modeling world perspective of like, these are all my dear friends and colleagues, but like Zach Miko is 6'5" and 300 pounds. Zach, while being a dear friend of mine, 6'5" and 300 pounds is not necessarily indicative of the rest of that target market. And that is one of the other very frustrating things of like agencies and brands specifically, because they're the ones that have the samples that we have to fit into, have not started to lean into what is the largest and fastest growing consumer base in the country, which is fat men. And we want to look good. We want to dress well, but the options for us are just non-existent outside of the 6 major brands, Target, Kohl's, JCPenney, Walmart, Izod, and ASOS maybe. And, DXL too, that offer to us. But like DXL is very cost prohibitive. DXL is at least one of the fewer things that's at least on the somewhat higher end. But the basic options for men are very difficult to find. And it's wild that even with all, COVID walked back a lot of the progress that was made in inclusive sizing and stuff like that, and now all of a sudden with weight loss drugs and everything, heroin chic is starting to come back.
I hate that that's now a term that we're using again. I remember seeing like articles where it's like heroin chic is back in. Why? Right. Why are we? And it's not to say like if that's what your body naturally has, because like it's not to shame anybody on either side of the spectrum for their body, but it's like, why are we making that the most desirable thing, knowing that things like Ozempic is going to cause people to have such terrible side effects or to bounce back and be worse? And we're just telling kids we have to look like this. We have to look heroin chic because that's what certain high-end models are looking like.
Right.
Sure, they exist in the space that they do, and it's beautiful, and they're fantastic what they do, but stop making that the standard again.
It's like when legging legs all of a sudden became a thing a couple months ago. It's like, no, we don't need to do this again. We're just reinventing body dysmorphia and fatphobia. Mm-hmm. Legging legs are legs that have leggings on them. Period. Yeah. That's it. And it's funny. I'm seeing so many articles about Ozempic and Mounjaro and Wegovy and all of that, and I have a very neutral stance on weight loss drugs, in that I am glad that there is finally an FDA approved legitimate drug to actually treat something that is not just a moral or personal failing, right? It is, for people that genuinely need these drugs and they help, amazing. But Kim Kardashian, go fuck yourself. You don't need it. You're right. And all you're doing is promoting more fat phobia. And, whereas like me, my high school self stealing Hydroxycut from the GNC and hiding it in my bathroom, trying to lose weight so that I could fit in, or get a girl to talk to me kind of thing. Like, at least there's something now where a doctor can, instead of just being an asshole and saying, well, you need to lose weight, like they can actually prescribe you something to help with that. But also seeing so many influencers and people pushing it that are not doctors and have no idea what they're actually talking about, aren't aware of what the side effects are, and all of those other things. It's like, this is not just an ethical gray area. This is ethically wrong. This is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because also, let's talk about weight loss for a second. Like, weight loss isn't something, you can lose all the weight in the world. You can end up being the skinniest person in the world, but if you didn't know how to love yourself when you were fat, you're not going to love yourself when you're skinny. You're still the same person. The only thing that's different is the meat sack is different.
Yeah, and I feel that people that do lose a lot of weight, they start to see attention that they didn't get before because they've lost the weight, and so now they're fitting into society's standard of beauty. And so that's whenever they start getting their self-worth, because they're putting it in others. So that's where the body dysmorphia even gets worse, because you're not loving yourself because you've never really given yourself a chance to be loved. So now that you have all this outward affection because of a surface level thing, you are only going to focus like, well, if I start to bounce back, I'm going to lose all this love. I'm going to lose this attention. I'm not going to have as many whatever. And you're going to get stuck going to the gym or not eating or not having, the enjoyment of life because you have no love for the inside of who you are.
Right. Yeah, that was one of the wildest things. I went through 2 really bad breakups in 2016 and 2017 and lost 175 pounds over the course of doing that. And that was the craziest thing, is I started getting all of that new attention. All of a sudden I was wealthier, and I was more attractive, and I was more intelligent, and I was, insert adjective here that other people decided to thrust upon me because I was skinnier. And I was never skinny, right? I was just less fat. And people were treating me so differently, but the person between the ears was still the same. The meat sack was just different. And then COVID happened and I gained all of the weight back. And like that is what happens, right? You can lose so much weight, but if your body is just, its default is to be a certain size, it will come back one way or another. And the way I lost that weight in that time was unsustainable, unhealthy, and that's it. Unsustainable and unhealthy. I was training 4 to 6 hours a day. I was eating less than 2,000 calories a day, and I was perpetually fucking miserable. And, that was also the same time when I was on my own, like, healing journey of the person I hate the most in the world is myself. The thing I am most terrified of is being alone, and not in the grand scheme of things alone. I'm terrified of, I have 10 minutes to myself on a Tuesday afternoon. I don't want to be alone with my own thoughts. And that kind of led me down this road of, the reason why all of my relationships are dysfunctional is because my relationship with myself is the most dysfunctional one of all of them, because I genuinely hate myself and I am my own worst enemy. And I'm not going to be able to accept, love, or actually love other people that isn't just some kind of like ego validation, unless I do figure out how to have a relationship with myself, how to love myself, how to be alone with my fucking thoughts for 30 seconds. Yeah, that shit's hard, especially when, going back to talking about other people's voices and other people telling you who you should be, what you should act like, how you should, make yourself smaller because you are the biggest person in the room. Um, now, throughout your dancing, your modeling, and your acting career in the last couple of years, what would you say has been the greatest, like, what are the things that make you feel the most like, holy shit, I can't believe this is happening? What have been those oh shit moments for you?
It's been a lot of it has been being in the room with other dancers doing ensemble jobs. Like I've done really cool jobs that as like a solo person,
Mm-hmm.
but getting in the room with other dancers that I've looked up to or who are also like industry leaders, being in the space with them, that has been like that oh shit, like I'm in the room with such talent, such people that I admire and I look up to, and I'm a peer. I'm
Mm-hmm.
amongst them. And then there's the jobs that like that come along that I say, oh shit, this is actually happening, or I can't believe this is real. One of them being like the billboard I did for Apple, where it's like seeing that in like they, I didn't get to see, it was in so many different places, but like knowing where I was in LA and driving down to Beverly Hills. And I'm on the phone with my best friend. I was like, yeah, I'm just trying to find it. They told me like it's going to be in this location. Driving down and then like looking and seeing
Yep.
me on top of a billboard in Beverly Hills for everyone to see. And
Yep.
then having like, I got out of the car and I'm like, just like, oh my God, FaceTiming everybody and having people go, oh my God, is that you driving by? And I was like, these people get to see like, as they're driving, they're gonna see me.
Yep.
And then getting people after posting it on Instagram and I'm getting comments, oh, I saw it in Boston, I saw it in New York, I saw it in Shibuya, I saw it in London, I saw it in Sydney. And then
Yep.
them DMing me the photos and seeing like in Shibuya, Tokyo, I'm in like their main like pedestrian walkway. I'm
Wow.
in like Times Square. Like I
I
was
saw it in Times Square.
that one to me was mind blowing because I never saw the potential to be on a a billboard everywhere.
Yep.
Like I was told I'd never make it.
Right.
Now I'm everywhere in the world.
Yep. It's a
um,
hell of a feeling, isn't it?
yeah, and then another cool like holy shit moment was after doing Savage. An article was sent to me from Teen Vogue, and it was here are top 10 Rihanna top 10 moments from Savage Fenty. And
Mm-hmm.
then right under it was like Rihanna does what was it? From Gigi Hadid to Erik Cavanaugh. Rihanna
Oh,
like,
wow.
and I was like, holy, from Gigi Hadid, the supermodel, to Erik Cavanaugh, little me, Rihanna does it again. I'm sandwiched between Gigi Hadid and Rihanna. And then it was top 10 moments. Number one, Erik Cavanaugh.
Yeah.
That's wild to me. And it
Yeah.
was really cool. So the billboard was in Beverly Hills. Right down the road was Gigi Hadid's Givenchy
Oh,
billboard. And I was
wow.
like, why? Like, I don't know. It's like a cool little like throwback to that. But stuff like that has definitely been like, oh shit moments.
So if you could go back and talk to your like 14, 15-year-old self and tell him about that, what would you say to them?
See, I always wonder this question because I don't want to say to them like keep going, it gets better,
Mm-hmm.
because like this shit happened and that's what led me to here. So I don't want to say, it's okay, you'll make it through this, because I
Mm-hmm.
kind of needed those moments of being like, fuck, my world is falling around me,
Right.
and being able to find that perseverance to push through it and to make it through. That if like, I don't know, if I saw like 14-year-old me, I'd be like, tie your shoes, kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, because I don't want to change it. I
Mm-hmm.
don't love that I had to deal with the trauma and the trials and tribulations that I had to. And I want to make sure in my lifespan, I can help alleviate the problems for future kids to not have to go through. But I don't want to change my past because it led to my present. I
Right.
don't want to alter that. I don't want it to be different. I don't want to like, I just, I needed it.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully I can make the journey easier. Hopefully
Yeah.
I can lay down a path and a foundation for people to follow on that's not as bumpy, is not as hard. because
Yeah.
that's my goal in life, is to just try to make it a little bit easier for the next person, for the next kid to not have to look at themselves in the mirror and
Mm-hmm.
poke every part that they hate about themselves.
Yes.
To look at the mirror and say, well, this is bad and this is bad. I need to fix this. This is terrible. I should wear 2 sizes bigger than me
Mm-hmm.
so that no one can see my body. I should hide in the back of the room. I should be the quiet kid. I should only be the funny kid. I shouldn't be the, the hot kid or the sexy kid or try to be that. I should just crack the jokes. I should make the
Yep.
jokes about myself before everyone else can.
Yep. Yes. Yeah. That was a wild phase that I am so glad I'm out of, is the making yourself the butt of the joke in advance of everyone else doing it to spare yourself the suffering of it, which
Yeah.
was, God, what a horrible fucking phase that was.
Because for some reason, me saying the joke was better than everyone else in the room saying the joke.
Right. There's some level of power to that, but also at the same time, it's like, I've given away my autonomy and my self-esteem to people who don't deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
And as opposed to just be like, I wish I would have had my dad was a teeny tiny skinny little dude, and he was always like, just beat the shit out of them. Anytime anyone says anything to you, just punch them in the face. This is not advice I am giving to my listeners. Maybe if you're not if you're an adult, I don't want you to get an assault charge. But I do wish I had listened to him more than I did when it came to that, especially now where like comments people make about my body and about the way that I look or anything like that. Like, unless you're someone that I deeply love and trust, you can't say anything that hurts me, because I've heard it all. But also at that young age, I wish I would have been able to just say like, fuck you, instead of taking that insult and repeating it over and 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 over again in my head a million times until I believed it to be implicitly true. And it wasn't until I was in my mid-20s that I was able to finally realize, oh, wait, no, it's not. They were just projecting their own insecurity onto me.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. So, okay, so here's a different question. If you don't want to give any advice to your 14-year-old self, what advice would you give? Like, what are 3 things that you would tell the parents of a fat kid who don't know how to deal, who want to help build their child's self-confidence, who want to help them deal with bullies, who want to help them take up space and be authentically themselves? What are like 3 things that you would tell these parents?
I mean, I think for first, you might be trying to avoid having the conversation about body or talking about it. I would say, maybe having that difficult conversation and being like, people are going to judge you off your body.
Mm-hmm.
And leading that with, but that doesn't define you. That
Mm-hmm.
doesn't stop you. And with your kid, whatever they're going to want to do, whether it's dancing or if it's sports or if it's art, trials and tribulations at different places. Mm-hmm. So if they put them, like if they're joining a football team, if they join a football team and they find that it's not a welcoming environment and they're being bullied, find a different one. Same with dance studios. If you sign them up for a dance studio and it's a toxic environment, find a different one. Don't stop because the first stop was a bad one. Mm-hmm. Keep going until you find your home, because there are homes and safety places for these kids. So keep trying and never give up on them and never give up on their dream, and don't let them have their dream squished out because of somebody else.
Yeah. Love that. That's very good. That's very good. Because that was something I worked in early childhood education for almost 10 years. And that was something that I tended to see that a lot of parents struggled with, was not knowing how to support their children that were very different from the other kids. And, don't project your own insecurities onto your child.
And different's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay for the child to be a beat behind everybody else or on their own beat. I feel like there's so much societal pressure to just fall in line
mm-hmm.
and just match, that you stifle the creativity and the artistry of the beauty of a kid because they're just a little bit different. Mm-hmm. They should be. You want your child to be different, right? Because that's life. Life is different. Life is to be seen through different goggles and different lenses. It's not supposed to be looked at the same. That's why there's color.
Exactly. So to pivot a little bit and get back to like relationship to self, at you're 30 now, right? You told me that before. So at 30 years old now, how would you define your relationship to yourself?
I am exploring it still more and more and still evolving. I just posted a photo that was like a 5-year difference. It was 2019 to 2020. And the difference is astronomical. And both were at events. One was I was like in the suit and I didn't know how to shave my head because I was insecure about like what I would look bald. I didn't know how to take care of myself. And then the other was like me in like leggings and heels and like shaved head. And I was like bent over. And it's just exploring and sitting more comfortably in my skin and getting to enjoy it more and more and unlocking the parts of myself that I've put behind a door because I'm like, oh, Eric, I don't know if you should be like that. That seems a little out there. Oh, Eric, we should put those thoughts to the side because that's not what a man should be like. That's not what a plus size person should be like. That's not what, a son should look like. That's not what, you have to be this, you should be this is what, so it's unlocking those doors to like let those, I don't want to say intrusive thoughts, but those exploratory thoughts out.
So just to get back to that's not what a man should look like or think like, what were some of those thoughts, those things, those impulses for you?
Don't wear makeup, don't wear heels, don't embrace sexuality, don't put on women's clothes, don't touch your body in a sensual way, don't allow yourself to be feminine in different aspects of your life. Only stay within the masculine boundaries. Don't be gender fluid or flexible with how you present or how you dress or how you go. I've always like loved the idea of gender bending or androgyny, but I always was like, stay away from it. Don't try to mix it. That's way out there, Eric. That's weird. It's like, no, that's what I enjoy.
Right. It's what's authentically you. And so I guess, and going back even further, like what was the pressure that you felt to conform to masculinity standards growing up and even now? What is the pressure that you feel? Like, I would assume that it's less now based on what you just told me. But I guess when you were younger, when you were starting your career, when you were in your arts high school and all that, like, was there a feeling that masculinity was obligatory?
Yeah, I was always fearful of, sorry, this freaking cold will not go away. I was fearful of exploring feminine or the gay side of me growing up. I knew it was there, but I suppressed it. And, I tried to be straight. And then I tried to like make it, maybe it's more acceptable if I say like bisexual. When instead of just embracing who I am, because I put a lot of pressure on myself I have 3 older brothers and I come from a large family and most, if not one other person in my family was queer. So it was like, I can't be the one queer because that's shaming. That's shameful to my family. How can they accept, me? And then they do, and they still do love me, but there was that pressure of myself, like, well, I can't be the gay man in the family. I can't. And then on top of it is like, I can't be the gay man and feminine. I can't be the gay man and wear heels. I can't be the gay man and wear makeup because it's already shameful that I am gay. I'm already breaking my family's heart. I mean, I didn't really discuss my sexuality until I was mid to late 20s because it was to me, the pressure of disappointing my family because I wasn't straight. I wasn't going to marry a woman and have a white picket fence and live a happily ever life like that. I was going to have a completely different experience. And I knew it. And I was like living as a gay man to myself, but I wasn't really living it outwardly. I wasn't like putting it out there. It was like, I mean, everyone kind of assumed I was still dancing in heels, but it was never a discussed topic. It was never like a known thing for most people because I wasn't trying to present myself. And that's whenever my family and I had that discussion, that's when I started to open myself up more to myself because they loved me no matter what. So I was able to loosen up the pressure that I put on myself out of fear of not being the perfect masculine son.
Thank you for sharing that. All right, we're going to start wrapping up a little bit here, but a couple of rapid fire questions for you. Who were your role models growing up? Like, who were specifically the ones that looked like you? Who were your fat role models growing up that made you feel like you had a place and you belonged? Yeah.
Ursula.
I love that. That's a great answer. I am going to make you be a little bit more specific, though. Male role models that made you feel. Ursula's fucking great. I love that answer. It's amazing.
I see in my head, like, as I'm thinking, like someone like Chevy Chase. Although I don't know much about his work, but I do remember seeing him, and like he was like in the Chippendales and he had his stomach out and he was dancing, and I know it was a joke and they're making fun of it, but at the same time,
Chevy Chase or Chris Farley?
That one, Chris Farley. Sorry, yeah. God, I'm gonna get canceled. Chris Farley, and I remember seeing him dancing, and like I've gotten comments where people say like, "Oh, this is Chris Farley" or whatever, and I think at a young age, I was like, or around that like kind of impressionable age, I was like, oh my God, how dare he? Like, he's showing his stomach, but then it also kind of put in my head, I was like, wait, it's actually not that bad. Like, people love him. He is idolized. He is great. So I would probably say Chris Farley.
All right. Good answer. Chris Farley, he's one of mine as well. That Chippendale sketch when he's making when he's putting Patrick Swayze to shame with how good his dance moves are. That actually is one of those first things where I was like, I mean, yeah, you're the butt of the joke in this, but also you're not. And
yeah.
That's what's so great about this. All right. What's your favorite food? And then what is your favorite, oh my God, the sky is falling, the world sucks, I need comfort, guilty pleasure food?
Right now, I'm obsessed with kava.
Nice.
So I'd say that. I love getting a bowl from kava. And then if the world is falling and I feel like this is going to sound stupid, but I love Kit Kat.
Listen, a Twix makes the world feel better for me, so I'm there.
No, break me a piece of that Kit Kat bar. You know what I mean?
I sure fucking do. Well, Erik, this was a fantastic conversation. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for your continued work and honestly your continued fat excellence. I would love to find a time if you're ever in New York City, or if I find my way to Nashville, or we end up in the same place, to take a lesson with you, because it would, one, be hilarious because I'm a terrible dancer and you might want to murder me by the end of it, but also I would love to work with you. Where can everybody find you?
I'm on Instagram as @Erik Cavanaugh. Erik is with a K, Cavanaugh is with a C. And then TikTok, same thing, except it's Erik_Cavanaugh because someone stole my name.
Oh, bummer. And is there anything that you would like to say in parting at the end?
Go sign up for a dance class.
All right. Yeah, go sign up for a dance class, everybody. Go do it. Go sign up for a dance class and take up some fucking space.
Yeah.
Unapologetically, regardless of how big you are, you still get to move and you still get to take up space. All right. Well, Erik, thank you so much. This was great. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording.